see, I'm not out here on a holiday. I'm running, escaping a hurricane. I have no intention being here tomorrow. And if you have a working engine, if you have fuel, it's time to burn fuel. It's time to use this.
Okay, I get it. Okay. I'm going to catch up with the crew. I'm going to call you later, so I'm going to know.
Some boats and some crews are just a disaster waiting to happen. And from my point of view, here it was a lot of things that could tick off that box. So first of all, I don't want to make a fool or make my buddy boat look like idiots. That's not my point. It's close to assume that, but still that's not my goal here. It's been quite a challenging video to make because obviously I was pretty frustrated out there. It's really a hard task when you are in a situation. Normally I don't do buddy sailing because I'm really not a big fan of it. First of all, it slows me down, and that's okay, I can live with that. In this case, it was a very special situation. It was an emergency situation. We wanted to evacuate the island before the hurricane arrived. So I accepted to take this boat under my wings, which turned out to be a big mistake. But once that decision is made, I just cannot leave them alone out there. And the more I realized and the more I understood of the situation of the boat and the crew, I just had to make sure they were out of the hurricane zone, because I don't think they realized themselves that they might be around because I did not give up on them. It's definitely not because of their boat, and obviously not because of their knowledge, or I would say respect. So here is the thing. When you are a sailor out on the ocean, these people are super friendly, super sweet. I met them out at Anchorage. They've been on board my boat, and they are so sympathetic and really sweet people. Unfortunately, the ocean don't care. The ocean doesn't take this kind of considerations. And if you're a nice guy or a bad guy, the ocean doesn't care. What it cares about is your respect, and if your boat is seaworthy and you know what you're doing. And in this case, unfortunately, the sweetest, nicest, friendliest people I just tried to help turn out to be my worst nightmare. It's very rarely a straight line from A to B is the fastest and most efficient route to sail. And in previous episode I said I was going to use the weather to my advantage for a fast sail to Bocas del Toro. Then it was only be free into this equation and would only be around 24 hours sail. As a fun fact, I often beat this advanced software only using my own experience and mapping up currents and wind for my own route planning. I'm bragging now, but my point is all these apps is good, but rarely beats experience and common sense, so don't trust it too much. It's what you see around you and how you adapt that wins. Strong ocean currents and favorable winds was key to my initial route planning. But this is not static, as both wind and pattern of the current is very unstable as this time of year. Meaning big changes in plans and delays forced me to recalculate and rethink my route. While waiting for the other boat to get their documents sorted out, I calculated our new route based on only 5 knots as average. Predicted thunderstorms is something to look at in this region, and especially closer to Panama, so my original route made no sense anymore. Losing the perfect weather window while waiting for the other boat was still no panic, as I expected them to be capable of at least 5 knots being a 50-footer. However, the clock is now ticking and there is some variables, meaning Julia could even form earlier and grow to a much bigger hurricane as well. No more speculations, this is our final call and schedule. I have now already postponed my departure one day to have the other boat going together with me from San Andres to Bocas del Toro. We agreed about around 10 in the morning, but of course their documents were delayed. Also, they had a lot of last-minute shopping and things delaying even more. So, to put a little pressure on them, I said I'm starting to move out of the channel and prepare my sails as I'm alone and they are a crew of 3. Even though it's a bit annoying to be so delayed, it's more how it affects my own challenge as solo sailor. Because this messes up everything I planned for myself, as my sleeping pattern is intervals during day and staying awake the entire night. Finally, we are on our way, and it is now only 3 hours to sunset. Looking at their sails, I was curious if they had some problems not furling out the entire Genoa. Because we need to start sailing to get out of here. And normally, most lightweight production yachts sails faster than Be Free in these light winds. Which to me is totally okay, as I now are willing to motor sail. It was nothing wrong. Instead, I had a weird explanation in how this was optimal. Right now, I realized this is gonna take time. So, finally left San Andres. I can almost not see it anymore. And behind me there is another sailboat that wanted to tag along with me down to Bocas del Toro. So now it's only 2 boats left in the bay there, and they definitely have bigger boats than me. They decided to ride off the hurricane. Yeah, what can I say? I really hope they will manage. I would say it's quite a big risk, but anyway, it's their decisions for sure. It's not much wind. I've been recalculating my sail because we are going a little bit slow. I try to plan. I see on the systems, the weather systems, there are some really massive thunderstorms. I explained the earlier episode how they consolidate. There are some systems I'm trying to dodge and then point more directly to Bocas del Toro. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting because of course all this disturbance will create a lot of thunderstorms. And sailing in this region, I mean, well, sailing in Panama in general is not like sailing. It's it's like sailing in the doldrums. It's almost never wind and just thunderstorms. So it's not really much about sailing. It's more like drifting. Anyway, I try to sail as slow as I can, so I'm not leaving my friends too far behind. And yeah, let's see how this goes. Because it's a little bit rolly, you can see the boat moves a little bit. It's not much wind, so the sail is not keeping the boat steady. And I had to improvise and make, I think some call it a snugger or a jibe stopper, or yeah, a lot of different names on it. I have a solution on this boat that works very well because I use my winch via cleat and up to the boom, and it actually it's a good system because it makes it adjustable for me, and I can tune it as I go. Reducing my sails even more, wondering what's going on behind me. I'm hoping the wind that's on the way would send them my way, so they can come a bit closer. But slower than this is impossible. I'm basically almost only drifting with the currents. I alter my course a bit towards east, meeting the squall but avoiding the thunderstorms that these clouds will generate on my west side in not long time. At least this is what I expect, and my radar tells me this will meet the other system and most likely becoming something I don't want to sail under. I'm not heeling over much in this super nice wind, unfortunately, because I already had to take down my mainsail and only have 50% of my Genoa out, going as slow as I can. If I was alone, I would sail 12 to 14 knots now. Instead, drifting away in 1.5 to 2 knots through the water, giving barely 4 knots on the GPS. To position myself better, I started the engine for a few minutes. It's a problem because his VHF is so poor. And now he sailed towards Nicaragua.
I'm on my course right now, so let me speak to you in about 20 minutes.
I'm trying to sail as slow as I can, but I need steering speed. I need speed to control my boat. Wondering what they are doing. They're a small light boat. They should sail faster than me. So much shit in the water here. It's like I just saw a log, now there's some garbage. A lot of shit in these waters. There is some weather systems ahead of you that will merge with the incoming other ones.
Sorry, I didn't see that.
Still outside of Albuquerque, wondering why my buddy boat's sailing straight into the system I warned about. Also, they seem not to understand they should sail same direction as me if they want me to route us through this. And also, try not to be further than 2 miles away, as their VHF obviously works not even as good as a handheld one. So this is one of the systems I wanted to dodge. I try hard to get my friends to catch up. They are slowing down. I just asked them to start the engine because otherwise they will be catched. I don't want them to be in the middle of this one. But this one is going east, northeast. And of course all these systems are now somehow like magnetic, going northeast towards the front system that's on its way. That's why it's pretty predictable, all these thunderstorms, but yeah, I need my friends to at least be able to keep 5 knots. Otherwise it's difficult for me to route us through this. So they need to come closer and maintain speed. I'm asking if you do your own weather routing now, or do you want me to continue?
Okay, so 180, I can't get over it.
Later, I see the famous Norwegian cruise ship that's designed for Arctic adventures. And of course, not only was this a great opportunity to test my radio system, but also have a nice chat in Norwegian with the captain on board Hurtigruta, Roald Amundsen. Nothing wrong with my VHF system. However, I got it confirmed. The problem is on my buddy boat. They don't have satellite systems and not even AIS. So the only way for me to keep a track on them is my radar. The weird thing is they can see my course and speed, yet they do the opposite from me. And when it rains intensely in squalls, it's really hard to see them anymore on the radar. Yeah, that doesn't really matter right now. The point is that you have no range. I had a radio check with my VHF with a ship later, and nothing wrong, but I can't hear you when you are more than 2 nautical miles away. But the point now is, what are you guys doing?
Well, I just got awake. I was sleeping, so I'm going to catch up. I haven't been in the deck right now. What is happening? Tell me.
I mean, I'm not out here on a holiday. I'm running, escaping a hurricane. I have no intention being here tomorrow. And if you have a working engine, if you have fuel, it's time to burn fuel. It's time to use this.
Okay, I get it. Okay. I'm going to catch up with the crew, and I'm going to call you later, so I'm going to know what is happening.
Yeah, because if you can't go or something, either I have to take you on the tow, or if you don't understand the seriousness of the situation, then I don't know what to do. Either I tow you or I leave you.
Okay, let me see what is going on and let me see what the solution is.
Okay, take a discussion and come back because we need to make progress in the right direction. Seems like they don't understand. I have detailed control of this situation. In fact, I'm almost down to millimeter precision here. Still, they don't listen. So I move a bit faster forward after giving my message because I'm really uncomfortable being under these clouds. I've tried to get these people out of this for at least 3 hours. Exposing myself while waiting for them to catch up so we can have a radio communication again. And I just hate it when I'm right. Not long time after this. So just talked to my friends on a boat behind me and luckily they are okay. We had a lightning strike in the water between us and that was pretty close. So yeah, I'm playing chess with the Viking gods again and trying to route us safely through these thunderstorms, but it's not so easy because the gates are closing pretty fast. The challenge is my friend's boat is the engine capacity is really not that good. Now I'm doing 4.5 knots, trying to wait for them, and yeah, they even struggle to catch up. So which is okay. It's just challenge to find the calculation of the route that we can go safe. So, but we're gonna go through this, both of us. So, but that was close. That was damn close. It's now Friday morning, and still we have not even sailed more than 30 nautical miles from San Andres. For B3, 140 miles is not much, and I still have time to run. Even by engine, this is not more than 15 to 16 hours, meaning I'm out of the hurricane zone in less than 6 to 7 hours. My buddy boat, however, with this speed, 3 days. So I need to make them understand this is not a joke anymore. Yeah, if my face looks tired, it's because I am tired. I've been weather routing, trying to make us a safe path through all these thunderstorms all night. And the boat that's following me disappeared in the in the night. I have them on the radar, but the problem is their VHF is so poor quality, and I thought we were agreed that they should not stay further than 2 miles away because then it started to be difficult to communicate. And they don't have IS, so it's also difficult to see their course and basically where they are. So, but I'm about to lose them on the radar. I tried to hail them and tried to ask why they are sailing towards Nicaragua. But they start doing other stuff. They don't have the technology on board, they don't have the tools I have, and obviously not the experience and knowledge about these weather systems. Then I'm starting to wonder why I'm still waiting, because I can't see them. I barely have them on the radar. And I tried to hail them and I don't get any contact with them. Last contact was they were changing course to get more wind. Yeah, then it doesn't make any sense to assist with weather routing. I don't know what to say. But yeah, they are sailing straight into some shit weather. And it will get worse if we don't start moving. So I decided to just wait out this rain and enjoy my coffee. Then I'm gonna start up my engine and use my radar to find them again for a last chat. This time is the 3rd time. I really need to get them out of the hurricane zone, at least far enough south that they might have a chance. After this, I'm not sure what I'm willing to do anymore. I'm a solo sailor and it's pretty hard for me to babysit these guys 24/7. The Hurricane Julia is going to slap their face so hard in not long if they don't realize the situation and the time frame we have here. And this is already the front system telling us it's time to move. So after checking my weather systems, my radar, and again tried to hail them on the VHF, I decided it was time for a last chance. Meaning I have to turn around, start looking for them, and give them a serious speech. They are out of reach. So I told them like 3-4 times that their VHF doesn't reach longer than 2.5 nautical miles. I actually had to be pretty hard with them yesterday. I said, okay, that was the second time I sailed up to them. I turned around, sailed back, found them because I plot them on my radar. I said, now it's enough. Stop fooling around. We have a situation, and if you want me to go alongside with you because you have an engine that can stop anytime, then you have to listen, because we cannot play around. We need to go south and go to Bocas del Toro. And now, the third time, they are... I don't know what's wrong with these people. Every time I power nap, they are just going the wrong direction. Luckily, I do have some experience finding sailors at sea. It's not like they are totally lost, but it took me 40 minutes at 8 knots going northwest, against waves and currents, to find them. As this is my final and last chance I give them, I decided to go close and have a serious talk. Telling them with this kind of sailing, I will now leave them, because in 24 hours this will not be a nice place to be. And my GPS says with this kind of speed, 33 hours to safety. Meaning they will still be at risk and I will no longer be around. I'm happy to assist, but at some point I have to call it quit, as I prefer to have the margins on my side. And what they are doing now is eating up our margins. I now really regret taking them under my wings, but just can't leave them alone out here, as from my perspective, it's just a disaster waiting to happen. A disaster is always the sum of lots of circumstances, and in this case it's lots of things and the reasons for sharing this. First of all, a boat without working navigation system, without the working VHF, and with an engine not capable of even 2 knots makes this boat not seaworthy. In general, I'm seriously questioning the maintenance in general, as this is only a quick observation so far. 190 nautical miles is not far, and in fact I would sail this distance faster drunk backwards on a bamboo raft, only going with the currents. So obviously they are doing it all wrong. And once again they are heading towards west, while I try to get some rest in the daylight, going as slow as possible. Oh yeah, I feel a little bit bad about just leaving now, but come on, 3 times. It's like I cannot, I even offered them a tow, because they were not able to go more than 3 knots, and when the hurricane comes, 3 knots is just not enough. So in fact I offered them a tow to Bocas del Toro, and I think I could actually tow them in probably 7 knots, and they are not able to do more than 3 with sails and with the engine. So yeah, something weird. I really don't understand, but the reason why I now leave is because now they are so far out of reach. Also, I know they are south of the hurricanes, even the border of it, so they are safe. They might need a long time, they might get some squalls and rain and shit, but they are safe. They are outside of the hurricane, so I done my job. So, yeah, no wonder it goes wrong. I mean, some people just don't get it. With only 30 nautical miles left to Bocas, my buddy boat was out of the zone and should be safe. So I decided to sail normal and soon reach 10 to 12 knots, meaning less than 3 hours left to Bocas del Toro. Yeah, this is great. It's not often it's 30 plus knots wind in this region, that's for sure. I've been sailing here quite a lot, never so much wind like this. Well, in squalls and thunderstorms, yes, but not constant. Be Free is basically flying again, and now I only have less than 2 hours left to Bocas, meaning I can finally get some sleep. But it looks like it's the wind is increasing. I'm not sure if it's have anything to do with the storm formation or the hurricane, but it is increasing. So I might need to take down the mainsail or reef down. We'll see. But I don't have much to go. I have only 60 nautical miles, so I might just keep going. This has been among my most stressful sail in a long time, mostly because people not understanding the risk we were in. Also interference with my sleeping pattern as a solo sailor. So it was such a nice feeling being able to drop my anchor and go to sleep. Sending warm thoughts to my friends in San Andres, as Julia now was making a mess there. Obviously there's always two sides of a story, and this is my side of this story. When it comes to yachting, it's you can divide the responsibility and stuff in two. You have the boat owner's responsibility and you have the captain's responsibility. The owner of this boat was not on board, and it's a charter boat, and obviously the owner cannot keep up with the maintenance, don't have sufficient funds for not even for diesel. I mean, these guys could not even fill up jerry cans with diesel. It was low on diesel. The engine is not working properly. No VHF, no navigation systems, a lot of things. So I would say this boat is definitely not seaworthy. And that's your obligation as a boat owner, and especially if you have it in charter. It should be seaworthy. So my advice to the owner of this boat is just sell it, because if you can't afford to keep the boat seaworthy, it's better to sell it before this goes totally wrong. And as a skipper or a captain or a crew, if you ever find yourself on a boat that's not seaworthy, not having a navigation, engine, a lot of things that you should have on a boat for going blue water sailing, you should definitely walk away. As I said earlier in this video, the ocean gives and the ocean takes, and it definitely don't care if you're a nice person. So yeah, I would say I don't think this would have a happy ending if I did not hold these people's hands and not give up on them until they were safe, because this had all the red flags, a potential disaster. Anyway, I'm not gonna talk too much about this now. Now it's time to say thank you so much for watching, and stay healthy and be free. Cheers! And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I will be happy to see you do it. All the best.